what we've done. You know, like the choice is yours, and you know, just our whole catalog gets burned. You know, like my children will reap the benefits of as is will reap the benefits of what we've done. And like I said, I've been continuously putting projects together from AWM. I did a project called From the Black Pool of Genius. From there, I did a project with Jerobi under the moniker Evertan. I put out various singles for different people, from Tommy Boy to, no, I've done all kinds of things, all building the brand as I still am. And it's gotten to the point that, you know, like me doing me and running around the world, literally now I run around the world on my own. Like I grab my DJ Strike, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Strike, who's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and me and him, you know, we put on our version of we do us. We rep us and well, very well. So much so that, you know, we could stand next to any group in hip hop without question. I know this for a fact. You know, like, and it's built up to the point that, you know, we was doing a show in, I think it was Chicago, and, you know, like I've not only, you know, will I open up for somebody, you know, top tier, but, you know, there's shows where I'm the headliner, what have you. And we were doing a show in Chicago, and cats come up to me in the back like, yo, you want to meet Ma Dukes, Dilla's mom? And I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't even have the relationship like that with Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dilla was much closer, like, to a De La and definitely Quest and what have you. I think, like, we might have met in passing, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have this strong bond. But when they asked me that I want to meet his mom, just out of respect, I was like, yes, I really do. You know what I'm saying? And so I meet Ma Dukes and her husband, Tony. And, you know, like, I was honored to meet them because I thought Dilla was just so dope. But I didn't even know his story to the degree that I would know it moving forward. You know, so I meet them, and it was just all out of respect and love, you know what I'm saying? Chopping it up with them, cool, push off. Maybe a month or two later, I'm doing a show in Puerto Rico. And I look to the right in the front, who's there? Ma Dukes and her husband, Tony. And I'm like, you know, like, it just made me feel good. Like, you know, like, wow, you know, like, they're here, you know, at my show. Like, you know, wow, in Puerto Rico. And so after the set, I go straight to them. You know what I'm saying? And we start chopping it up, this, that, and the other. Turns out they got a crib in Puerto Rico, and they were, you know, like, there was an after party going on for what I was doing. They was like, yo, you want to come to our house? Mom's going to cook, and we got a few cats coming by, play some music, some DJs coming by. I dissed the after party and went to their crib. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, like, was honored to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, I'm with Ma while she's in the kitchen cooking, and she's telling me about her son, you know, like, and I'm talking to Tony, and we started, I was there for hours. I hung out to the wee hours of the morning with them and just talking, you know what I'm saying, just good people, like, you know, like, just being a good person as well, like, you know. And, you know, at the end of the night, they let me know, like, you know, like, look, you know, like, we've just gotten back all of his music under the umbrella of the estate, and we're trying to decide different things to do with it. Would you be interested in putting a project together, going through his personal folders? They could have asked anyone in the world to do that.
Right.
And anyone in the world would have been like, fuck yeah.
Right.
And they asked me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that they've seen me rock, you know what I'm saying? Like that meant more to me than anything, because it wasn't like they blindly asked me, or that they asked me because I was on top of the charts. They asked me because something that I was doing resonated with them, and they felt like I'd be a good representative of what their son did. And this is my word, I'm 3/4 done with a project that's gonna blow cats' minds. Word, cats are about to hear me in a way that they've never heard me before. And it's all a result of building blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dare say that, you know, given the opportunity, it might supersede everything I've done. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, sometimes you got to just take those steps and keep grinding and keep building and keep grinding and keep building. but I know what I'm capable of, and I knew what I was capable of when I stepped away from it. And I've been slowly just building blocks. But it got to the point that, like I said, I was doing a show in Puerto Rico and got offered the opportunity to do something that any MC on this earth would love to do.
Absolutely.
And that's literally, you know, like I've had the opportunity to sit with Tony and he's playing stuff from Dilla's personal folders for me. And like, yeah, throw that in my folder. All right, now. So that, you know, like, are you kidding me? Like, you know what I'm saying? And,
like a kid in the candy store.
Yo, bro. And even from there, it was for me to do my due diligence. Whereas, all right, like I said, I didn't have that relationship with Dilla, but I felt obligated to. Now I jump online every interview I'm looking at, even Marduke's interviews, like everything I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? Like I've learned so much about Dilla. I feel like he was a close friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like even me putting together this project, like Dilla was he knew he had a crazy work ethic, and he knew that he had to keep shit moving because I think he knew that his time was what it was. Dilla would put together snippets, like 45-second snippets, 30-second snippets, and within that snippet would be everything that the song is comprised of. But he wouldn't give you 2 or 3 minutes of it, you know, arranged. He'd give you a bar or two of what the intro is, a bar or two of what the verse is, a bar or two of what the hook is, and he was on to the next joint.
Right.
So it's up for you to kind of take that and build it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like I feel like I've gotten to know him. Whereas, so where you about to loop a full, you know, a full 4 bars, he might lower the volume. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like it was done very intentionally. Like I'll start laughing, like, yo, this dude is funny. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so now peep this. I start putting the project together, and it starts just coming out really dope. And I got really close with Marduke's husband, Tony. And so, you know, I had to go to California, and my youngest son, like he had something to do for Disney. Like my kids they're amazing, which is a whole different story. But my youngest son was doing something for Disney, so I take him out to LA. And so I'm talking to Tony on the phone. He's like, yo, you want to meet somebody from Delicious Vinyl? And I'm knowing, you know, yeah, sure, I would love to. Did a lot of stuff for Delicious Vinyl. I would love to. So he sends over Frank Nitt, who I didn't know.
From Frank and Dank.
Yeah, so I started talking to Frank Nitt in my hotel room. I'm playing him what I've done so far, and he's like, yo, blown away. And I'm telling them everything that I'm telling you, like how, you know, like the story of how this all came to be. And like I'm telling them, like, yo, you know, like, you know, and I feel like I've gotten so close to Dilla, even though I wasn't close to him like that. You know, I damn near, not even damn near, my eyes watered up when he was over in, like in Sweden, and his crew was pushing him up on stage in a wheelchair for like one of his last shows. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling them this stuff, and Frank looks at me, he's like, yo, that was me that pushed him up on stage. That was my best friend. And I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know Frank. You know what I'm saying? Like everything has been so organic with this project. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm blown away. Like, what? Like, me and him became buddies instantly. Like, you know what I'm saying? To the degree that Frank has sent me tracks for this project. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff that he had, you know, like, yo, check this out. You know, like, and this project is coming along so dope, man. Like it's just an amazing project, you know what I'm saying? And everything about it has been so organic. And even, you know, like to really come into contact with how people love Dilla, you know what I'm saying? And how his work resonates to this day. And to help be a catalyst to even move it forward, I'm honored, you know what I'm saying? In a way that is beyond Black Sheep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, and I've decided what I thought was fair, because I feel like I try to play fair, man. Like, especially because in music, a lot of times cats don't. Right. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with playing fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I decided to do was make me and Dilla a group. You know what I'm saying? And it's D&D. D&D is the name of the group. Dilla and Dres. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to. I hope it works out, because you know, like in booking things can kind of get a little whatever. We'll see how it goes. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get booked as D&D as opposed to Black Sheep Dres. You know what I'm saying? And to the bookings that I get as D&D, mind you, by making it a group, that means that there's splits in the sales.
Right.
Splits in the sales go to his estate. You know what I'm saying? But now from shows, if you book D&D, I'd like for a third of every show to go to his estate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, mind you, if a producer produces something for an MC and that MC has a show, the producer doesn't get anything from that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like he got paid, he gets paid from the sale of it, he gets paid from the publishing of it, but he doesn't get paid from him doing a show. I want to give a third of everything that's booked as D&D to the estate of Dilla, because I feel like this is a platform, like it's all been a building block, and by even me using the name D&D, it's being inclusive. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I'll pay strike from my portion. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like there's nothing wrong with playing fair.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
and that's my way of saying thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they could have asked anybody in the world to do this. You know what I'm saying? But they asked me.
Right.
And, you know, like, this is my word. Like, I feel like that's going to make it even stronger. And even the way I conceptually see myself doing shows, it's going to be amazing. And if you love Dilla, you're going to love what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, it very organically is coming together, and it's been quite the journey for me. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, man. Like it's really like you know, like it's been amazing. It's been even with every bump in the road, every struggle, you know what I'm saying? Like it really has been amazing.
Are you going to release that on your own imprint, or who's going to handle that?
I'm actually putting together a way to release music that kind of has never been done before. Like I'm really thinking outside the box with this, and I don't really want to kind of go into it, but it's something that's different that cats haven't seen. But I will tell you this: the way music is put out right now, I think it's unfair to an album because kids' attention spans are so short. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has gotten to the degree that they don't conceptually buy into an album. They'll skim it, pull out what they want from it, create, and it becomes a part of their playlist. People don't really vibe to an album. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll run through it, whatever resonates immediately, you'll pull it and you'll add that to the playlist, and the rest of it you kind of throw away.
Right.
So a cat will release a project, and literally 2-3 weeks, maybe a month most. Cat's like, so what else you got? You know what I'm saying? That's because they've only listened to, you know, what they like. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm guilty too. You know what I'm saying? But I've peeped it. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, like we don't, like sometimes you'll go back to a project and be like, wow, I didn't even realize this was there, because you've been listening to 3 cuts for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And so I've kind of peeped that. So what I'm about to do is something really different. But the way I'm going to do it, every single song on it is going to have its own life. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm about to kind of change the way that cats release their music. And that's just by being smart and creative. Like I don't have a bunch of money to throw at anything. I've never been a millionaire or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I've always been creative and I've always been intelligent. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, like I'm about to kind of address it in a way that each song is going to have their own opportunity to be in your life. And I'll just leave it at that for the moment.
When can we expect this project? Because you got us all amped right now. We probably can't sleep tonight now. I'm going to be up all night. So when can we expect this project?
Honestly, like it would be done if it wasn't for this COVID thing, man. Like I said, I'm only doing 13 cuts. And I was working on number 11 when we had to lock in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm literally that close. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it's something that broke my heart. My master and engineer, Mark Lawrence, passed away
Ah,
last weekend.
ah,
Like I'm heartbroken. Like he was such a good dude. Like and mastered every single song I did since Blackpool of Genius. So that really hurts. God bless you, Mark. I'm oh
yeah.
man, it's such a loss. So I was looking forward to, like finishing up, mixing and mastering it with my man Mark. So I would say as soon as things kind of open up for us, I'll probably have the first single out probably a couple of months from when we get to go back out.
Okay.
So like if I would say maybe by the end of July, I'll start dropping stuff.
Is it too early to ask you after this what we can expect from Dres?
Oh man, I guess right now, No Words. That's the name of the project. The project is called No Words by D&D. And I call it No Words because it's something that you're gonna feel. You know what I'm saying?
No
And
doubt.
like that's just where my head is at. Like that's where my focus is at right now. Is really just putting my best foot forward in this project. Like I've really taken the time to kind of really create something that I think needs to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like a lot of artists get confused with what's popular. You know what I'm saying? And like Jay-Z had kind of got everybody to buy into the notion of a blueprint. I don't really buy that notion. You know what I'm saying? I think it's for you to create. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's for you to draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, the radio has become one long song. You know what I'm saying? We've taken the creativity away from DJs. When's the last time a DJ broke a record? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all become, saying something where, like, oh man, like it hurts me that a native tongue doesn't even have a place in the marketplace right now. And that's just because everyone's following a blueprint. Like cats see something be remotely successful and they emulate it. And the world has gotten to a place where Tekashi's the biggest artist in the world. Like how sad is that?
Very sad.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And much like Trump being the president, it's almost like there's nothing you can do about that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing you can do about that right now. But there is something that can be done about that. And in my opinion, what can be done about that is to be the difference. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And, I think, a cat like Tekashi goes hand in hand with a Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like that hurts. And, and we're all paying the price for that. But it's not for me to badmouth it. It's not for me to belittle it. It's for me to be the difference.
Right.
It's for me to show you the difference. And there's no words that's going to take that away. But I can create a feeling that will. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what all hip hop does. It creates something that you feel. It creates something that, like in rap music today, hip hop music today, and to me, there's a difference for sure. But to say that, like rap music is corporate, hip hop is cultural. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't tell you, you can't tell me what was hot this time last year.
Right.
Who knows? It sounded just like what's hot right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's really not much difference in it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't come from there.
But I could tell you what was hot in '89 and you can immediately tell me.
Yeah, right. Oh, without question. Without question.
91, 95, you could tell me.
That's where we come from.
Right.
Because it created a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? It created a feeling that you grew with. You know what I'm saying? Like these cats, like to hear this dude speak, I just heard him speak on Billboard. Like, oh my God, like to hear these cats even talk, it makes you. It's
Cringe.
almost like listening to the president. You feel dumber, like, for having heard it. Like you're like.